and welcome to Legal Affairs. My name is Diamond Liddy, and I'm the public defender of the 19th Judicial Circuit. We had kind of a prelude to our guest today, which was one of the deputy clerks that works for our new clerk of court, Michelle Miller, and he was wonderful, and he talked about some of the nuances of the clerk's office, but he was sort of sitting in, if you will, for our clerk of court because she was out of town that day. But we are honored to have her with us today, and she's going to tell us about herself and about the clerk's office and what she's done and the changes she's made. And welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you so much. That was lovely, and I'm pleased to be here.
Oh no,
and honored. Thank you for the yes.
No, this is great. And your deputy clerk, as I told you after the show, was wonderful, and he filled in a lot of the blanks and things like that. But there's nothing like the real deal. So
and he was very nervous.
Oh yeah, he did great. He did great.
He's an awesome person. So, and we're very pleased to have him.
But you are the clerk of court of St. Lucie County,
yes.
correct? And you've been in office now how long, Michelle?
Just over a year.
Yeah.
January 5th of last year.
Okay, so
right.
This is great. So everybody can meet you and see you now. And
yes.
Not that they haven't when you were on the campaign trail,
right.
but obviously they voted for you.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, thank goodness. But you know, it's always good to have the person on, and you know, when you're giving speeches, I well know that you're talking about what you're going to do, you know, for the clerk's office, right. And how the changes you're going to make or not make and things like that. But rarely do people get to really know the person. So let's start with you. Okay. Give us your background. What you know? How long have you been in St. Lucie County? Where'd you come from if you weren't born here?
Okay.
And that kind of thing.
Well, I was actually born in Palm Beach and raised here.
Okay.
I moved up here when I was 7 years old, something like that. I really don't remember, but it was early. Graduated from Fort Pierce Central, the old one before they tore that one down.
Right.
And I left when I was 17 and went in the military. I was an Army specialist by the time I got out.
Wow.
I was an air traffic controller, which is always fun.
Now, see, I didn't know any of this. This is great. An oh, wow.
Yes, I loved that job. But
oh, my God, I would think that would be so stressful.
It can be, but I think it's also, it's invigorating, too, because you have so many moving pieces at one time.
Yeah.
So.
It'd be kind of like, of course, I try to do as many sports as I can, but tennis. You know, when you're playing tennis, you can't think of anything else
right.
but that, and I'm sure that's the same thing, you know?
Yes, you have to be focused. You have to really zoom in on everything that's going on and make sure that you have a very good umbrella approach to it, because you can't just focus on one particular plane at the time. You have to have the whole area in your range. So it was interesting. It was a learning experience. I would have loved to have done more with that, but unfortunately, that was during a time where all of the air traffic controllers were fired. And
I remember that.
Yes.
Yes.
And then they brought in a whole.
Well, there was a strike, right?
There was a strike.
So they fired them.
Yep. They said, we're not going to do this. Reagan.
Yeah, that was it.
Yes.
Okay.
And so they brought in this whole new group, and all the positions were filled, and there was really no jobs available at the time. So when I got out of the military, I ended up in California with my husband, who was then in the Air Force, because he transferred from the Army to the Air Force. And we moved to California, and you know, from there, you know, eventually made it back here as soon as he got out. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And once you made it back here, tell us about what you did.
So I stumbled into an insurance office and decided that I would get my insurance license, opened my own company in 2002 under my own name. That was a tragedy of events that happened there, but we're not going to go into that. And stayed there until 2012 or 13, I don't remember, and went to work for Aviator College. I was their VP of Operations and Admissions. So I worked with Mike Cohen up there at Aviator College, which is right up here at our airport.
Okay.
And we brought in mostly international students to learn how to fly and turn them into pilots, basically.
Right.
We took them from 0 hours all the way through to the commercial pilots And many of them I still stay in contact with.
Oh,
now.
I can imagine. Sure.
Yeah. So
Well, the school there is still
very vibrant.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because of COVID, it shut down some of the international, but it is back to full swing, and everything's going really well for them. And then after about 2-3 years, I left and went to work with the sheriff's department in
Right.
investigations out of the jail, and saw a
When
need
did you start with the sheriff's department? What
in
year?
2016.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So.
And what did you do with them, Michelle?
So my partner and I developed an investigations team inside the jail, which did a couple of things. It helped have on-site, like, report writing. Charges could be filed if there was somebody who had, assaulted somebody, stole things.
Inside the jail.
Inside the jail, right. So we formed an investigations unit that dealt with just things that happened in the jail. And why that's important in a cost savings is if something would happen prior to this, we would have to have a deputy off the road or a detective off the road come over and actually write the report. So it takes them away from their normal job and, causes them to have somebody else, cover their zone and so on and so forth. So we started this, actually spoke at several different counties about how they could set
Implement
something.
that. Right.
Yeah, exactly. For their own counties. And then.
Well, and not to interrupt, but people don't realize, of course, the jail population obviously fluctuates, but we're talking, between 1,200, 1,500, depending on overcrowding at any given time. It's its own
small city.
Yeah.
And they have, I can tell you that they have a whole network of whether it's their commissary or whether it's their privileges, etc. It's amazing to watch in action.
Yeah.
And then to be able to delve down into how the inner workings of that city works is amazing as well.
Well, and you have to, we can't, you hear about horrible conditions and, excuse me, things that happen in the jail with inmates and things of that nature. Although I have to say, and I think the world of Sheriff Mascara, that it's a lot of it is not what you see in the movies.
It is not.
Well, and talking about giving speeches and stuff, you always get the question, well, is that really jail? They're smoking cigarettes and watching TV and lifting weights and everything. And I'm like, no, that's not the way it is. But there are people in there that are innocent, first of all.
Well, and keep in mind, this is a detention center, so some of the people in there have not even had their due process yet.
Exactly.
And I would give credit to Sheriff Mascara and the deputies that work there, because they are a wonderful group of professionals that deal with a lot of the problems that they deal with are mental health issues.
Oh, wow.
And that's a growing concern and a growing problem. And yet they deal day in and day out with how to properly maintain order while not abusing the rights of the people that are being detained there.
Right.
And
it's a fine line.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And I would tell you that the men and women that I was fortunate enough to work with, professionals all the way.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you say, there are detainees who have not received their due process, that many of whom could be innocent, and you have to protect them. You can't allow them to be sexually assaulted, physically assaulted, bullied, have their food taken away, whatever the case may be.
Exactly. And we investigated a lot of that. My partner at the time was Detective Letman, and Is he still there, Michelle? He is. Yeah. He's wonderful. Jason Self and Rosales now have the unit, and they are doing an amazing job. So. Well,
and I have to say, of course, it is what it is. It's a detention facility.
It is.
It's a jail, no matter what we want to call it. But as jails go,
It's clean.
Yes.
It runs efficiently.
And believe me, I've been in prisons, jails, death row, all of them, and there are different smells and different nuances of all, but it's not that way.
Correct.
There. And that I always, you know, when I talk to parents or they call and they're worried about their child or their husband or whatever, I'm saying, look, this is one of the jails that I don't go to bed at night worrying if something bad's going on.
Yes.
You know, so anyway, okay, so you did that.
I did.
And then...
Well, while I was there, I noticed that there were some things that we could do better on. And as I started talking with administration that was at the jail, they were like pointing different things out. And I noticed that there was a tremendous need to have a more responsive clerk that would, you know, actually deal with problems. And I thought, I can do this, and I can do it really well. And then I got into it and went, oh my gosh, there's so much to this, you know?
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah, but we, in the last year, we've made a lot of significant changes that I'm really happy. I spoke with the Kiwanis last week and ran through this whole litany of services that we've changed and items that we've implemented, and then looked at them and went, phew. Now, what's this year? What is this year going to bring, right?
Right.
So we're very excited. Last year, one of the first things that I did is I took the hours from 9 to 4 to 8 to 5 because I felt like those extra 10 hours every week would give working people a little bit more opportunity to make it to the clerk's office in person.
I did not even realize that.
Yes.
The working hours prior to you...
9 to 4.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Boy, I did not realize that. With an hour for lunch.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now did you have much pushback on that?
No, staff was there. They just weren't open to the public most of the time.
Oh, I gotcha.
Right,
okay.
right.
Okay.
So, you know, that would allow them time to do paperwork and so on and so forth. But when I came in, I was 17 people down. So I increased our staffing and I made sure that we had adequate coverage for our staffing levels that we needed. I had a manager that was working 7 days a week just to keep up with what was going on. I removed some of the things that were costing us money that we didn't really need.
Right. For example?
Little things like outside cleaning services that really didn't provide a benefit to the clerk's office. I mean, they would literally come in and do this and say, we've cleaned, literally. You know, our county facilities does a great job of taking care of our facilities, so we don't have to worry.
Oh, so that was on top of the county cleaning?
Yes, yes.
Wow, yeah. Whew. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
So we've done a lot of cost cutting where the top-heavy personnel that we had are now gone. My administrative staff is all new. We've cut a lot of expenses there. As a matter of fact, one of your tennis buddies, Tanya Green, is now my chief operating officer.
Right.
And she is doing an amazing job. So we're doing more with less. Our budgets, as you know, budgets are always a hard thing to deal with, especially when you have state legislators who don't understand the realm of what we encompass and the job that we do. Right. Something this year that I think you may be aware of, court administration is moving into our building because one of the things I said is I don't like wasted space. And so court administration needed a place to go, so they're moving into our second floor. County is building out the first floor so that we can have a front-facing customer care center where when you walk in, you get all of your services right there. You don't have to go up and down on the floor. So if you have a family issue and then you have to take it to recording and then you have to go back to family, you don't have to go up and down. It's all right there on the first floor.
Oh, so boy, that'll be great.
Yes.
Are you going to utilize that old Sunbank?
No.
No, I thought because
we did.
Yeah.
It was that was a really big expense for us. I think to set it up, the previous administration spent like $50,000 just to get that where we needed it to be able to provide services. And then we literally had 3 people a week that would come through it, and it was the same 3 people that were coming through. And I just couldn't justify the expense.
I see.
So we closed that, And the people at 500 Orange were fabulous to work with.
Right.
They completely understood. There just wasn't enough, people coming through and usage of it.
Now, are you going to? You have clerks and people out at the St. Lucie West courthouse, correct?
Oh, yes. We have a full staff of about 22 people out there. They do passports, marriage license, recording, civil claims, small claims. We do most of our traffic and collection court out there.
Right.
So we do most of that out there. We don't do felony out there because we're not equipped to do felony out there.
Okay.
It would take way too much manpower from both us and the Sheriff's Department to have criminal down there at this time. That could all change as we continue growing.
Right.
But
pretty much, if you need something filed or need a passport, as you say, or anything
Yes.
like that, you can get that done.
Absolutely.
A lot closer than going downtown. What? Let me ask you this: what do they not have in St. Lucie West that they have?
Bless you.
Me. Gosh, excuse me. In Fort Pierce.
So some of the family services, you would have more variety in family services.
Okay. Can you file an injunction for protection in
Yes.
St. Lucie West?
You can.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's better if you go to Fort Pierce because they have more services available there. You can do that after hours if you feel threatened. If there's an issue, you can always call the Port St. Lucie Police Department, and we have somebody on standby 24/7 to make sure that we can help.
Really?
Yes.
Now, is that new? I didn't know about that.
I don't know how new it is, but I made sure that we kept it going because I know that's something that we've worked out with the police department.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
which is great.
So
Okay.
Lucie and my family department actually set that up and has continued that. So as we have additional services that we're adding on, like Turbo Court, you can do small claims. You can get a divorce through Turbo Court, which is all done online.
Yeah,
which is nice.
walk us through that, Michelle.
So Turbo Court is a service that we wanted to expand some of the offerings so that people didn't have to actually come to the clerk's office. You could do
Right.
it online. You can get married. Let me rephrase that. You can actually get your marriage license online.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and you can do that all online. Our notices of commencement, you can do that all online now, so that if you're like our businesses that are general contractors and stuff, you can use an online filing portal and e-file
Oh, they
all
must
of those.
love that.
Yes, well, one of the things that we did was we worked with the city of Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce, and the county to make sure that our notices of commencement can be done electronically, so you don't have to run back and forth between the agencies. So that's all online.
People
as well.
must love that.
I hope so. I've heard that they do, so that's good.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
So we're going to continue to expand as many online services as we're allowed to. As you know, we're heavily governed by statute and administrative orders. One of the things that we are looking at, this is kind of interesting, tickets right now, and I'm going to be talking with Judge Schwab about this.
Yeah.
I almost said Walsh because I'm looking at you, but Judge Schwab about this is Judge Walsh actually asked to have the ticket and the TCATs, which is the electronic form of the tickets, have them together because there was some discrepancies when somebody would come to court. It was like, well, that doesn't match what I have online. So Judge Walsh said, okay, I want to see both the TCATs and the actual citation so that I can compare them.
Wow. Okay.
But now, that was in 2010. So now, 12 years later, we kind of feel like technology has caught up, so we don't have to wait for the ticket, because we had an instance where a local law enforcement agency wrote a ticket on the 21st, and we didn't actually get the actual ticket until the 20th. Well, right now, we can't even open the case until we have that actual ticket. Well, the 21st was 30 days, which happened to fall on a Saturday. So this person yes, they were
Exactly.
they were very much caught in a catch-22. What do I do? How can I? You don't have my case open or anything else.
So I can't
do
it.
anything. Right. So we worked with them. We worked with the law enforcement agency, and we were able to bring about a good closed to that. But now, we've talked with the law enforcement agencies and said, let's work on this. Let's, bring about more of these. Uniform arrest affidavits is something that we are working on throughout the 19th Circuit. So when you have something in
Martin County,
County, Indian River County, Okeechobee County,
it can all be
it can
seen.
be all uniform. Yes.
Okay.
E-warrants. E-warrants is going away.
Right.
So I just talked with our state attorney, Tom Backendahl, yesterday, and Chief Brian Hester yesterday about how we work together to bring about a solution to this.
Right.
Martin County has a solution. Indian River has a solution that they're working on, and then Brian said that they are also working on something going forward, because as of May 3rd, that'll be gone.
Right.
So,
right.
That's all. It's working together, these collaborations that we have that really make things work effectively.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I end up saying it on every show, because it's
Yes,
true.
it absolutely.
We do work together. We may, there may be a glitch or there may be a problem, but
Right.
We get together and usually solve
Yes.
it. Just like your meeting that I know will be rescheduled with the
Right.
technology. I mean, my IT person, when you wanted to set up a meeting regarding
all circuits.
Yeah, with all
Yep.
the circuits regarding computer needs, she was like, "Oh my gosh, Diamond, we need this. We
Yes.
need this."
Well, the judges have a program, and we have a program, and I would love to have more integration, so that, for instance, out of the jail, we were having to wait for the clerk's office to get information in, and then
Yes.
slowly it would get over there, and
Right.
it had to be typed, and after it came out,
Well,
they
when
said,
somebody's case they get found not guilty,
Right.
or they get the
And they have to
state,
sit there.
the state
Yes.
drops the charges, and the family's calling and saying he's still in jail, she's still in
Right.
jail. They're they're innocent.
Exactly. Get them out.
Yeah. Well, and I mean,
Right.
imagine what is it worth? What is 5 minutes or an hour or a day
Exactly.
worth in your life? A lot.
It is. It absolutely is. So we worked with the jail, and now they have real-time data, so that as soon as we have the information, they have the information. So they're not waiting for that.
Yeah.
And we have a great working relationship with Major Hayes. He is phenomenal to work with.
Yeah.
The staff out there is great. So, having those kind of connections. David Dodd at the state attorney. I mean, he is a telephone call away. Fabulous. Just,
Right.
Let's do this, and that's what it takes. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can't, count on my hands how many times I've called you and said, "Hey, what do you want to do about this?"
Yeah.
But it's those relationships that we build and we
Right.
foster. It's
Right.
not just once a year where we go, "Hey, I think we should go ahead and should we do this?"
Yeah, right.
It's those day-to-day conversations. You know what I mean?
Right, and it's good to have new blood and fresh eyes on
Yes.
an agency to see really what can be done and what can be improved. And
Yes.
I have a question. We're actually, believe it or not, and it goes so fast. We got about 4 or 5 more minutes. But going back to something you said when we started, you indicated that you were 17 employees down.
Yes.
And I'm just curious, how are you faring in this nobody wants to come to work
It's horrible.
world? Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
So, I have employees that are dealing with people's lives.
Right.
Every day.
Right.
And it's difficult. So I've had to increase their hourly rates. And when I say that, I mean, I'm not going
Yeah.
exorbitant.
I know. Well, you don't have the budget to.
I don't. My employees start at $13.65.
Right.
Which is not. It's not a great salary or hourly rate when you're dealing with people's lives.
Right.
But because of my budget constraints, that's where I'm limited.
Right.
So I work with the legislature to make them aware of what we do and how important the work is that we do. And I'm hopeful that they'll be receptive to that as we go forward over the next couple of years so that we can get people to a working wage. My problem is we have people that come in and they'll stay for 2 weeks and then they're like, I'm good. And I thought it was just, well, maybe it's our office, maybe it's the type of work, but it isn't. It's all throughout St. Lucie County. People come in.
The world, the
Yes.
country. I mean,
Yes.
People don't realize how this, no one really wants to work anymore. They think it's just the guy that puts your hamburger together at Burger King.
It is not.
No. It's lawyers at the public defender's office, state attorney's office.
Yes.
It's doctors, it's nurses, it's clerks of court.
Yep.
And you start, diminishing the services in all this
Right.
area, and it's happening.
It is. And then you get into a crisis mode. I mean, I was listening to something this morning about how we have a shortage of doctors in Florida. And I'm not talking about nurses. God bless them. I'm talking about actual physicians who need to diagnose and treat, et cetera. And we have a tremendous shortage of them. I sit on the hospital board at St. Lucie Medical, and we are constantly looking for good talent. You know, it's a need.
Oh,
so.
Yeah. And I can imagine. So that has hit your office as well.
Yes.
Are you down employees, Michelle?
I believe we're down 2 employees,
Well, you're
which
better
is wonderful.
Yeah, you're doing better
thankful.
than most. I'm sure with talking to the other clerks.
Yes, we're all experiencing the same exact thing. I mean, we all have the same budget constraints as well.
Now,
So-
are the majority of your budget comes from Tallahassee, correct?
Yes.
And your building, et cetera, is
County.
county money.
Correct.
How are you faring this year in the legislature with budgets?
Good. I think it's okay. I think we'll be solid for this next year. It really depends on what happens with our economy going forward. So.
Right. But you've been up there, yeah. See, people don't realize, and I know in my job as well, they think if you're the public defender, it's you just go to court and try cases.
Right.
Nothing could be farther
Right.
from the truth. It's just, that is one little
This little
part.
tiny piece of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to Tallahassee.
It is.
And I'm on my way there this week. And lobbying for money. It's going before the county commission.
Absolutely.
And asking for money.
Yes.
It's all. I mean, there's so many new, and you have the same issues.
I do. I do.
You can't just be a clerk in a courtroom, or you can't just
Right.
oversee your staff. And how many? By the way, how many staff do you have, Michelle?
148 right now.
Wow.
Yeah. But I'm also the comptroller,
Right.
which brings a whole nother dimension. It's a completely other job, because as your comptroller, it's the CFO, the treasurer, the auditor. So we audit. We make sure that every check that goes out, every dollar that comes in, we do all of the investing for the county. And I am proud to say that St. Lucie County is doing better than any other county in the circuit.
Yay! Well, we're about to close, and I'm thinking, oh gosh, we haven't even allowed her to make a plug for herself, but you plugged yourself just
Thank
by
you.
all the innovation.
Thank you.
But anyway, keep up the great work.
I appreciate
we're
it.
proud of you. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. This has been fun.
Thanks.